Hey, what's up everybody? Kyle, TTO Parts here. Hey, we're back with another episode. Today we've got a Markem Smart Date X45 touchscreen in-house for repair. It was sent to us by a customer. I don't have a note on this one, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it. And all they sent was this. We didn't get a printer along with it. So what I like to do is just turn these on and kind of see what's going on. But before I do that, let's just talk about briefly that e-course that was out. The trailer came out a few weeks ago. We got some people signing up. Would love to get some more signups. When you sign up for the course, you get 2 free flow charts and 20% off the initial course price. Again, it's like an hour and a half of just straight VideoJet 6530, everything from intermittent to continuous, all the way to clarity config and everything in between. Completely disassemble the unit. I think it's gonna be really worthwhile for those of you guys that are working on those printers all the time. So check that out. There's a link down below. Now, let's get back into this bad boy. So these are the X45s. Now, Markem's a little bit different than VideoJet, so let's just focus on this one today. The nice thing about this is I don't need a printer here to turn this thing on. I mean, I didn't need that for the other one, right? But this will actually show me on the screen what's going on. It knows that the printer's not connected, but the unit will still turn on. And if there's an issue here, most likely the reason there is an issue here and they didn't send the printer along with it, we'll be able to see right away. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll hit this switch. Okay, so we've got power. Let me flip this up. So this is the boot cycle. We should see this cycle through this and then load up to our home screen. Okay. All right, so we're getting somewhere. Now, the one thing I do know, I don't see a whole lot of these new units. I mean, we get them, right? X45s, X65s, but I did see a whole lot of the old ones, the X60s, X45s, and these are just the newer models. Unfortunately, they didn't go to the all-electric design like VideoJet did. They kept a pneumatic system in these, and I mean, good and bad, right? Because it's actually the same module that moves up and down as the old one, so a lot of the parts stay the same. And actually, you may have seen some shorts that I've done where I've been able to use, like, say a customer will send in an X65 printer, right? And for some reason, I don't have an X65 cassette. I can use an X60 cassette. So the cassettes are identical to the old style. I don't know if they want you knowing that, but I don't really care. You know, hopefully that helps you guys out. All right, so this thing should be loading, and I'm wondering if that is the reason why it's here. This would happen on the older styles as well. It would the unit basically gets hung up in this boot process, and generally that means there's a problem with the circuit board inside here. The Markem's weird. So I've worked on a ton of these, and I put the VideoJet on one end of the spectrum, some of the other TTO printers that you haven't seen yet on the other end of the spectrum. That would be like the Cortho printers that we used to work on. On the VideoJet side, basically everything is in the main printer. That board inside the printer controls everything. The screen is kind of like a window into it. The Cortho was the opposite. There was like nothing inside the main printer, and the touchscreen controlled everything. These Markems, even these new styles, they're kind of a combination of the two, right? Some of the brains of the printer and the functions are inside here and on the board of the printer. So when I have problems with these, it's a little bit more time consuming to troubleshoot. Luckily, I just have a touchscreen here today. So what we're gonna end up doing is opening this thing up, because I suspect this board is bad, and then we'll take it out, put a new one in there, and see what we can do. All right, we have the unit flipped on its front, so we can remove the screws over here. Now this is a 3mm Allen key. We're just gonna start taking these off. So let's just see what's going on underneath this bad boy. They really outdid themselves with how many screws we got on here, but it is a big unit. It's the one thing I've noticed about these is the size of these screens got a lot bigger, which, you know, it's all right. Unfortunately, a lot of times you don't have a whole lot of room next to these pack lines. So it could be a problem finding where you're gonna install this screen. But hey, that's their problem, right? Okay, while I'm here, I'm actually gonna take the hex standoffs out as well because I do suspect it's the board behind this that's giving us our trouble. So I got a 5mm wrench. Okay, now we've got everything taken apart. Let's see what we got going on in here. Okay, power supply, the main board. This is like an Ethernet board, kind of in the way, so we're gonna have to take him off. So we'll start by disconnecting. So we're gonna take power cable off here. Oops. Let's see. Same 3mm for this ground screw. Take them off. All right. And then what we'll do is we'll disconnect that. And we'll have to do it on this one too. Oh, come on. Let's see, is this that stupid one? There we go. Okay, so he's out of there now. So let's see, in order to get him out, we'll have to take this guy off so we can disconnect Ethernet cables, get them out of our way. We've got 2 nuts here that we have to remove. And then this little board should come right out, and then we have access to the main board. So I grabbed a 7mm socket wrench. Let's see if we can get this off. All right, well, we got him out of the way. Disconnect this cable. And now we got access to our board. There are 2 screws. These are 2mm Allen keys right here. Let me flip it around so you can see a little bit better. Holding them in place, so we'll get that. All right, so 2.5mm Allen key. Remove this one and this one. And once we have this, we should be able to pop this board up. All right, let's see. Yep, pull him right out. There we go. And then we've got this little riser. Okay. All right, time to get a new one. All right, new one from inventory. Got everything we're looking for. Let's see. Where'd that cable go? Here we go. Throw him back in here. Route this guy like so. Okay, now it's basically just gotta slide our ports on. Now we can screw them back down with that 2.5mm. Final thing we gotta do is put our Ethernet back in there. Let me flip this bad boy around so you can watch me do that. All right, so I slid this back on. I'm gonna plug in this cable back here on the back left corner. If I can get my hands down there, my stupid fat fingers. Okay, all right, so this should be enough for me to just fire him up real fast and see if he works. So let's do that. Let's find our main. Okay. Main is plugged in. Let's flip him upside down. Come on. Damn, cable's not long enough. There we go. All right, not perfect, but let's just see what happens, okay? All right, so that was normal, right? We had that last time. Now the screen's gonna go dark, and then it's gonna say, I think, please wait while it boots again. Let's see what happens here. Beautiful. So what we're doing is I just want to test this before I put everything back together and see if that was the issue. So we'll give this a minute to start up. Okay, so that did it. After a long time waiting, we're able to get to the home screen. So let's turn the power off, put everything back together, and then I'll show you it tested. All right, so hey, if you have the issue of the please wait and the boot up on the X60, X65s, X40s, X45s, or even the older Smart Date 5, touchscreens. Now you know this could be your issue, okay? So I'm glad we went through that. So we can go ahead and exit this. We just got to make sure the screen is actually functioning and it's reacting to all of our touch, which it is. So that's good. Now listen, if you got anything useful out of this video, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Don't mind drop us a subscribe to the channel. It helps out with all that other stuff. I hope you learned something today. Ciao.